Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Today's topic is how to get your coworkers on board with working less and doing more. Listener Brian calls in.
Hi, Steve. This is Brian in Seattle. Love the podcast. They're really great tune-ups as I head into work each morning. Speaking of work, the challenge that I'm finding is trying to implement some of the concepts like, let's say, agendas for meetings, tracking open action items, things like that. They tend to be viewed as overhead and cumbersome and bureaucratic, process for the sake of process, if you will. And the groups, as they sort of stifle the agility of the team to just get in a room and hash it out. We're all very smart people. And if you just let us do what we need to do, we'll figure it out. What do you do in the cases like that where you know that, while the creativity shouldn't be stifled, putting structure around it enables the agility and creativity of the group to be funneled into true actions that have results? Thanks, Steve. I look forward to the podcast answer on this, and have a great day.
Well, Brian, now you know why I've been unpopular at past jobs. I was once sent to learn total quality management along with the senior vice presidents of the company. When we got back, I said, let's implement some of what we learned. The Veeps explained, we're smart people. Now that we have the information, we'll just sort of do it. Thank goodness for your smart colleagues. They're spending their time and effort coming up with bureaucratic hypothetical arguments instead of just trying something new to see if it works. That's what smart people do. They don't actually try new things. They think about trying them. Then they learn from the experience, which they never actually have except in their imaginations. And because they're so good at turning their ideas into real-world outcomes, smart people always automatically do the right thing. Smart people know about exercise, diet, and self-care. That's why they're all thin, healthy, in great shape, and stress-free. No, smart people are a total wreck because they've never learned how to be wrong and ask for help. The famous article, Teaching Smart People How to Learn, by Chris Argyris, there is a link in this episode's transcript, covers this in detail. Process has a bad rap. Your colleagues poo-poo new ideas, saying you're too process-oriented. That's a bad thing? Process means you're paying attention to how you do something. Content is what you're doing. Bernice and I decided to eat better. I did it by buying healthy food. Bernice did it by buying a case of Twinkies and putting them on her counter under the theory that she would develop the willpower to say no. Some processes work, others don't. Hers doesn't. I've lost 3 inches of waistline and look like a sexy version of Zac Efron. Bernice is ankle-deep in Twinkie wrappers and resembles a sexy version of the Death Star. Do what you can on your own. I helped roll out a project management course at Harvard Business School. Silly me, I suggested we use the project management tools we were teaching to manage the project of creating the class. They laughed in my face. But since I ran the meetings, I just went right ahead and gave meetings an agenda, kept an outstanding issues log that we reviewed at every meeting, and basically dragged them kicking and screaming into practicing what they preached. Surprise! Our meetings, I just loved these meetings, were over in mere moments. We got a ton of stuff done, and our program was a smashing success. Only afterwards did they admit reluctantly that the tools worked. I'm still waiting for them to apologize for that wacky little sugar in the gas tank prank. If you want the group to do something different, use their own complaints as leverage. We all know the real issue is that they're scared of change, don't want to admit they have room for improvement, and are scared that if any of your ideas are good, you'll be promoted and they'll be laid off. You can't just say that, of course. Your coworkers may argue against your new ideas by claiming that your new process will slow them down, decrease their output, make the process less fun, and stifle them. It could happen. For example, if you use agenda time limits to squash debate, that could be bad. But if you simply check in when you're near the end of a time block so the group can decide how to deal with the item that's running over, you could end up with better outcomes. Why not suggest that you make it a group exploration? For the next 2 weeks, let's use an agenda. We'll reserve 5 minutes at the end to review whether we went slower or faster, whether we produced more or less than usual, and how much fun it was. Then schedule an agenda item at the end of each meeting where you review the meeting and decide whether your tweaks to the process made things go better or worse. As usual, if things got better, give everyone else the credit. You guys really pulled it off and made this whole agenda thing a success. If things got worse, take the blame. Well, my idea didn't work out this time. I'll have a new one next week. If they won't agree to an experiment that explicitly measures whether the process was a success, you know your smart colleagues are wedged in "I'm so smart I have to wear shades" mode. So bribe them. Tell them if your theory is wrong, You'll spring for an Oreo ice cream cake to make it up to them. Change your own process if you can. Make it a group experiment to change group process. And if logic fails, bring on the ice cream and Oreos, a force that's too powerful for anyone to withstand. This is Steve Robbins. Find this episode's transcript with links to Teaching Smart People How to Learn at getitdone.quickanddirtytips.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.